Hello sunbeams, it's me, Icarus. This is part 3 of the series Genderfluid Percy Jackson by Losing Letters on AO3. This is Dressed to Impress. The rating is general audiences and no archive warnings apply. The category is Gen, and the summary is Sally Jackson goes shopping with her 5-year-old son. And now on to the fic. The day her son was born, Sally Jackson vowed that she'd do anything to keep him safe. Even fight Zeus if it came down to that, though she hoped that would never have to happen. She wasn't stupid or naive, and believed she could do anything against the king of the gods, but on especially hard days, she entertained herself by imagining herself socking Zeus and his stupid laws in the face. She didn't want to send her son off to some summer camp to live there until the day he'd die. She didn't want to go with Poseidon to be safe in a world alien to her. Was it too much to ask of the world to let her raise her son in peace? Percy was such a happy child. He always smiled at her and babbled all day if she let him. On the rare occasions she had more free time, she took him to pet shops. Sally could see her son staring in awe at all the fishes for hours. For now, it wasn't all too bad to let him use his powers. And gods, was it terrifying to see how powerful he already was. Poseidon had given her the rundown on what to expect. But Percy was so strong. He caused waves in the bathtub, talked to fishes, and stayed beneath the water longer than a trained swimmer. She had, of course, expected all of this, but not now, not so soon, not yet. However, there was little she could do to stop his scent from attracting monsters. Buying clothes second-hand was one of the things she tried out. Sally wasn't sure whether that actually helped, but was more agreeable with her income anyway. Percy grew so fast, she was sure she did more shopping for him than she had ever done for herself in her entire life. At least Percy wasn't all too bothered by the looking through second-hand stores. He liked all the strange little items waiting for the new owner, and as long as it wasn't too expensive, Sally also let him pick something to take home with him. "All right, Percy, is there anything you saw you want to take home?" she asked him, once she was done with her shopping. Percy looked up at her with his bright turquoise eyes. He was happy. The Caribbean Sea reflected it. Light and green shades of blue were for happy times, darker tones in greys before when he was angry. Sally hoped his eyes would stay a light colour for most of his life. "Yes, come mummy, hurry." He pulled at her sleeve as he ran crisscross through the store, all his energy finally releasing after staying still for so long, trying on different shirts and pants and jackets. To Sally's surprise, Percy ran right back into the clothing section, where her mother was probably trying to get rid of all her daughter's princess dresses. "Mummy, can I have this?" Percy tugged on one of the dresses hanging in the shelf. Sally carefully picked the dress from the hanger and held it up. She wasn't even surprised that Percy had managed to find this treasure in between all the other things that must catch his attention in the store. "You're sure?" Sally asked him, perhaps a bit unnecessarily. Percy was pretty much jumping up and down with excitement. Yes, pretty please, I want to look like Ariel." True to his wishes, Percy had somehow managed to find Ariel's dress. Ariel was his favourite Disney princess in his current obsession. Call her a lousy mother, but whenever Sally needed a short break from Percy's endless questions and energy to get some important work done, she only had to turn The Little Mermaid on TV, and Percy sat down patiently and calm like he was hypnotised, and Sally had a few minutes to herself. The dress was a bit pricier than what Sally was usually willing to spend, but Percy had already fallen in love with it. She could tell. It was slightly bigger than Percy's current size as well, so at least he would have more time with it before it became too big for it. "All right," Sally agreed. "Let's go pay for it." "Yes, thank you. Percy hugged her and then took her hand as they walked over to the cashier, dutifully paying for all their new belongings. "Can I put the dress on now?" Percy asked, as Sally began to pack everything into bags. "Only if you hurry up." Evidently, Percy was a speedy kid, because he pretty much raced into the changing room and came out a few minutes later, clad in his new dress. She'd have to remember that for next time, to decide to take a sweet time getting ready when he didn't feel like going to school. "How do I look?" Percy did a twirl, showing off his new dress. Pride was written all over his face. "Just like Ariel, you're only missing her red hair." Her son smiled and tucked at his black hair, another thing he got from his father. Sally liked to think at least his smile was similar to hers, as well as his nose. Percy tucked at his hair with a thoughtful expression. "It's also too short," he observed. "Can I grow it out? Super long like Ariel?" Sally looked at Percy in wonder. He was stubborn, and by the time he voiced his thoughts, he had usually already made up his mind, and was hard to convince of another opinion. "That would be a lot of work," Sally began to tell him. It was hard enough to convince Percy to brush his teeth in the morning. Brushing longer hair would be trouble in the long run, one that she wasn't sure Percy would be up for. "You'll have to brush it every day and wash it more often too." "I like bathing." "With shampoo." Percy's face twisted in disgust, and he shuddered. "That's stupid." "Still up for it?" "Yes." And that was the end of Dress to Impress by Losing Letters on AO3. Please make sure to give them the kudos that they deserve. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube and Spotify. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you can drop your comments what I should do next.